Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Curtis on General Hospital has become a very popular character since his introduction in November 2015. But some viewers might need a refresher on his dramatic history in Port Charles. Curtis has always been played by actor Donald Turner, and here's everything you need to know. Curtis Ashford first came to Port Charles to help Hayden Barnes prove that Nicholas had been the one to send a hitman after her. When he ran into Jordan Ashford, it was clear she didn't like her late husband's brother very much and revealed he'd been an officer who cut corners and lost his badge while gaining a cocaine addiction. Curtis struck up a relationship with Valerie Spencer, but it didn't last very long. Wanting to get back into law enforcement, Curtis approached Jordan, who was wary and didn't entirely believe he was a changed man. Curtis promised she could trust him, insisting that he loved her son, TJ Ashford, and would never tell him that Sean Butler was his real father. Unfortunately, TJ overheard that conversation, and the secret was out. When TJ confronted him, Curtis actually urged the young man to give Jordan the benefit of the doubt and let his mother explain why she lied to him. While following a lead investigating Morgan Corinthos' death, Curtis and Jordan shared a heated kiss and began dating. She offered him a job at the PCPD, which he turned down because he preferred being a private investigator, and this way he wouldn't be romantically involved with his boss. TJ was surprised by the relationship, but eventually came to accept it. Not as accepting was Curtis' aunt Stella, who still blamed Jordan for Thomas' death. So when Curtis proposed to Jordan during the 2018 Nurses' Ball, Stella did what she could to keep the wedding from happening. Curtis joined forces with Sam McCall to open a PI firm called Ashford and McCall, and he also developed a strong friendship with Nana Reeves and asked her to be his best person when good friend Drew Kane was unable to stand up for him at his wedding. Stella surprised everyone at the ceremony by interrupting to give her blessing, and Curtis and Jordan became man and wife. Unfortunately, the wedding night was ruined when the newlyweds found Kiki Jerome's body in their honeymoon suite. Curtis helped investigate the serial killer case, but was also by his wife's side after Jordan was hit by Drew's car and hospitalized, requiring a kidney transplant. After failing to convince the murderous Ryan Chamberlain to donate his kidney willingly, Curtis joined some others in stealing the organ for Jordan. He next dissolved his business with Sam to become head of security at Aurora Media, but it was really just a way to get information on Jax for Valentin. Naturally, Jax fired Curtis when he found out his true motives. After helping Drew investigate Dawn of Day cult leader Shiloh and bring him to justice, Curtis went to work for Hayden again, helping her and Jax find the missing codicil to Mikos Cassadines' will that would take the family fortune away from Valentin. He brought Mayor Laura Collins in on the investigation, and the two worked quite well together. Unfortunately, he was also part of Valentin's scheme to trick Nanette into believing that Sasha was her long-lost daughter, and was furious at the Cassadine for making him unwittingly deceive his good friend. When a mob war heated up in Port Charles, Curtis worried that drug runner Cyrus Renault was out for revenge against Jordan. He helped Marcus Taggart rescue Trina Robinson and Cameron Weber from the villain's goons, though Taggart was shot and later died in the hospital. At the officer's funeral, Trina blamed Curtis for her father's death, and it became clear that he also shared history with Trina's mom, Portia Robinson, though she insisted that Curtis was not the teen's father. Curtis grew protective of Portia and Trina when Cyrus threatened them, and was stunned like everyone else to learn Taggart had faked his death with Jordan's help. This caused a rift in their marriage, as Curtis couldn't forgive Jordan for lying to him about it. He made some major life changes, buying a club and opening the Savoy, and filing for divorce. While rescuing Portia from Cyrus, Curtis was shot, but recovered quickly. Stella schemed to repair his marriage to Jordan, but he wasn't interested. After confessing his growing feelings, Curtis shared a passionate kiss with Portia, and they began dating officially. Trina was upset to learn that Curtis and Portia had a romantic past, but mostly because they hadn't told her about it themselves. Things grew interesting when a mystery man began spying on Curtis and asking questions about him all over town. Soon, the guy introduced himself as Marshall Ashford, Curtis' father, who wanted to make amends for walking out on the family all those years ago. While strengthening his relationship with Portia and buying a house for them to live in together, Curtis was also determined to find out what was in his father's sealed records to explain his actions. Although he initially turned down Selena Wu's offer to go into business together, he later allowed her to host high-stakes poker games in the back room at the Savoy in exchange for her getting him Marshall's criminal file. Curtis learned that Marshall had been arrested during a protest and sent to a mental health facility. Although Marshall was upset his son had gone behind his back, the pair reconciled now that the truth was finally out. Curtis considered genetic testing to see if he was at risk of schizophrenia as well. He also found himself trying to prove Trina's innocence when she was framed by Esme Prince. When Curtis popped the question, Portia happily said yes, but then he learned that his and Jordan's divorce papers had never been filed. He blamed Jordan, but it was really Stella who had lost the papers. Eventually, Curtis and Portia settled on Valentine's Day 2023 for their wedding, and he arranged for her father and brother, Zeke Robinson, to attend. Unfortunately, after the ceremony, Curtis was stunned when Portia confessed that he might be Trina's biological father. Welcoming the distraction, Curtis joined a group of people traveling to Greenland to rescue Trina and Spencer and stop Victor Cassadine from destroying the world. This led to the WSB offering him a job, but he declined to continue running his club. After sharing a kiss with Jordan, Curtis moved back in with Portia, but stayed in a separate room. The family was rocked when a DNA test proved Curtis was Trina's father, and the pair navigated their new relationship. After Zeke told Portia about Jordan and Curtis' kiss, he confirmed that it had happened, but promised his future lay with Portia. While Curtis was at the Metro Court pool with his family, gunfire rang out, and although not the shooter's real target, he was shot. Curtis was rushed to the hospital where doctors performed emergency surgery to remove the bullet lodged near his spine. While under, Curtis flatlined and met his late mother, Irene, on the other side, though he knew it wasn't his time and came back. Waking to find that he was paralyzed from the waist down, Curtis pushed away Portia and everyone else who loved him. Selena tried to buy the Savoy while he was incapacitated, but Curtis refused and Marshall stepped in to run the club until he was ready to go back to work. Curtis reluctantly went to rehab and then agreed to return home to Portia afterward. And though she tried to reassure him, he still felt like less of a man, especially in bed. Curtis' attitude eventually improved and he found new purpose when he decided to investigate the shooting that left him paralyzed, enlisting Jordan's help. Then, Portia told her husband about an experimental surgery that might be able to help him walk again, and he wondered if it was worth the risk to try it. Eventually, he decided to go for it, and, after the successful surgery, struggled to regain the use of his legs, and by the spring, Curtis was taking his first steps. Curtis then made a career change as he accepted Drew's offer to head up a new wellness division at Aurora. When it was revealed that Heather's killing spree was due to cobalt poisoning, Curtis supported Portia's desire to keep the criminal behind bars, but was stunned when she confessed she tampered with her blood test results to ensure she stayed in prison. Agreeing to keep her secret, Curtis met with Stephen Weber to ask him to take his mother out of Port Charles upon her release from prison. After Drew was elected to Congress, he told Curtis he would make him interim CEO of Aurora while he focused on politics. But Michael informed Curtis that Drew was lying and had offered him the CEO position. The pair conspired to fix stock prices so that Michael could gain control of Aurora and take it away from Drew.